Welcome to the Jeet Jet. Right now we're hanging with Jay. You know him from Mazda Monday.
What's up, guys? Welcome to my kitchen.
Sorry about that. I stepped over you.
Oh, no, it's right. I just wanted to welcome you all to my kitchen. You get to see me in the showroom all day, so especially on Monday. So, you know, what better way than today at my kitchen?
All right, Jay, so what are we making? What's going on here?
So I have a little secret that I'm going to share with you guys. I get asked a lot about my Salted Espresso Chip Cookies. So that's exactly what we're gonna make. I'm gonna leave out some details because obviously they're special for a reason, so I can't give away all my secrets, but at least you'll be able to see these in the making because I'm sure many of you watching, if you visited Rourke, I typically carry these on me pretty much all the time to hand out to customers when they buy a vehicle. So now you get a behind the scenes look on exactly how they're made.
Okay, so walk us through this. We starting with melted butter already?
So we are starting with melted butter. I know, kind of like that's taboo in the cookie world because everyone wants to beat up softened butter, but there's really a big reason on why I use melted butter. I want the sugar to really melt into the cookie, and that way you don't get that granular texture. But you know what? I will let you guys in on one secret. Over here in this little skillet here, I did brown some butter. So rather than just regular butter, I like to use half and half. A little bit of brown butter kind of gives it kind of like a hazelnutty flavor. So we're gonna kind of just pour the brown butter right here into the regular butter. You know what? They're cookies. We're not counting calories, okay, guys? Now, this is gonna sound kind of bizarre. Everyone wants to dig out the hand mixer. I do these just like my grandma used to do with the good old-fashioned wooden spoon. Some things you just shouldn't reinvent the wheel, guys. But to this, I'm gonna add in quite a bit of vanilla extract. Now, I make this homemade with vanilla beans and vodka. Obviously, anything with vodka is delicious, so there you go. Don't worry, the alcohol cooks out, so. So, touch of this is some espresso. Don't worry, it's just a little bit of caffeine. Everyone needs a kick. I mean, if you're on a sugar high, you might as well get some caffeine there too. So we're gonna add in our espresso powder. And this is a key ingredient. Everyone, you know, almost like goes, what? Salt. Salt in baked goods is exactly where it belongs. I know a lot of you think salt belongs on potato chips, but it belongs in nearly every baked good as you can imagine. So we're gonna add in some kosher salt. Make sure it's kosher salt, by the way, guys. My espresso powder doesn't seem to all want to come out. We're gonna give this a quick little mix up just to make sure everything is incorporated here. And then now we wanna add in our sugars. So this is a big thing. I predominantly use brown sugar. I know a lot of people want to use regular granulated sugar, and it has a purpose. Granulated sugar to me is a lot sweeter. Brown sugar kind of has that like molasses sort of flavor, but plus it's a little stickier. So these cookies are gonna kind of end up being like pretty like crisp, but real chewy. I like a chewy, dense cookie. So we're gonna go in there with a whopping 2 cups of brown sugar. Again, guys, don't count calories back there. And a little bit of white sugar. Obviously, we want them somewhat sweet. Chips, and I'm not going over what types of chips I use because that is a pretty big secret, but I will just say quality in equals quality out. You really want to use some good quality stuff here. So right when it's like this, where you still see pockets of flour, this is when I want to go in with the chips here.
Great value chips. Just kidding.
These aren't no great value. And you'll see, I want a lot of chips. They're chocolate chip cookies. And then I see how I reserve some of that flour. I want to just sort of sprinkle it over the chips. The biggest reason why is when we start mixing these chips in, if they have a little bit of flour coating on the outside, they're going to kind of stay suspended in the cookie. And then that way they don't all just sort of sink to the bottom when you start baking it. So then that way you really get kind of these chocolate strings all through every bite.
Still hanging out with Jay, Mazda Monday, you know him from that. And right now we're making up some cool cocktail. What's this?
You know what? This is my favorite time of the day. It's a Wednesday. I'm technically off, if you want to call it that, but you know, it's the cocktail hour, and it doesn't matter if it's 12 o'clock. I mean, hell, it could be 10 a.m. But regardless, you know, it's at least 2:30, so I feel like an adult here. But we're gonna make one of my absolute favorite cocktails. And just to let you know, the cookies we just threw in, This is how easy this can go. And honestly, you can probably do these at home because you probably have half the things to make them as well, but we're gonna make one of my favorite cocktails, which is called a bee's knees. So what we're gonna do is, I love this Empress gin, by the way. No, they do not sponsor me. It's just incredible gin. Plus it's beautiful colored and it's naturally colored. So what we're gonna do is go in with 2 ounces, which is about the equivalent of maybe a shot and a half here. You can be a little bit more generous. Oops. And then what we're gonna do is go in with an ounce of honey syrup. I know everyone that might make cocktails at home does simple syrup, which is just equal parts sugar and water. Honey syrup, a little bit different. It's 2 parts honey to 1 part water. Literally that simple. And lastly, we're gonna go in with a little fresh lemon juice. Fresh lemon juice. Let me repeat, fresh lemon juice. Don't even bother using that bottled stuff. It's not gonna taste the same. And then the key to any martini-esque cocktail is actually in the shaking. Now, if I really wanted to get fancy with you guys, I'd actually rim the outside with a little bit of a lemon slice, dip it in black salt, but it's Wednesday, we're not fancy. Cheers.
All right, Jay, so your espresso chocolate chip cookie, this is the outcome. Once it cools down, we'll taste it. Not here, like, you know, because we don't want to be in your house any longer. You know, we've already been here for a while.
You guys are welcome anytime, okay? But I'll at least give you guys some to go, and then you can just send me the reviews later. How's that?
How do people find you?
So you can always look me up on Facebook, of course, Jay Obertance, or just come into Rourke Mazda showroom, y'all. I know you need Mazdas, but I know y'all need new cars, so you all need to come to Mazda. But regardless, there's plenty of ways to find me, and I encourage you to look me up because surprisingly, you're going to see some big changes coming in the future with a lot of sales of some of these products and some even cooler products coming up on the way as well. So just take a look at this goodness, you guys, okay? Like, it's beautifully brown. You might be able to hear a little bit of that crunch on the outside, but more importantly, I've said it once and I'm gonna say it again. There is something super unique about chocolate chip cookies, and if you ask me what it is, you can be just a miserable bitch before eating a chocolate chip cookie, and you know what? Probably after eating a chocolate chip cookie, you'll still be a miserable bitch, but you know what? Can't be a miserable bitch eating a chocolate chip cookie. So to that, I say cheers, guys. It's so good.
Perfect.